Welcome to Unlocking with Mark Tullius, your source for horror, sci-fi, suspense, and all things violent.
I don't even know what episode this is. It's like episode 100 and some shit. But we do have a special guest, fucking Anthony Johnson, who was just here recently, but good to have you back.
Thank you, brother. It's good to be back.
I wasn't even planning on doing a podcast today. I was like, we were just going to do the yoga.
I just wanted to hit hard, yeah.
But I had on my list of shit to do was Anthony writing. And I remembered that you told me last week that you'd been doing some writing, but then we just got distracted with other shit, and we didn't get a chance to talk about it.
Yeah.
So today I just mentioned if you wanted me to send it over, and I'll check it out, and then you sent it right away, which was cool to see, and that you would even share it. It's hard to share things like I do. I have a hard time sharing anything that's not, if I don't feel like it's a good enough draft, I have a very hard time doing that. So just sharing it with me was huge. But then I was editing it in when you came this morning, and I was in the pool, standing in my pool halfway, 55 degrees.
It was funny to walk in on that.
Yeah,
because I'm like, this dude's really doing it, and he's in there every day.
Yeah, no. If it wasn't for the tattoo being so low, I would do the full immersion. Like, that's I feel awesome. Like this is easy, but it allows me to still get some cold water shock, and I do like 35 or 40 minutes and get my head, get a little rush. So you walked in on that, and I was editing it, and I was thinking, I was like, you know what? I was like, I want to help you develop it if you're down for that, and I figured you would be. I was like, well, let's do it on the podcast, and going into this, I'm going to tell everyone, I'm not a fucking expert. Like, I don't think I'm some big name author that knows all this shit about writing. Like, dude, I didn't go to school for it. Well, I studied with Tom Spanbauer a little bit, and at UCLA I took some classes, but I'm not, there's all these reasons in my head where I was like, I don't even want to do it because I don't want to say I'm able to be a teacher. Yeah. But I was like, you know what? I can help them. I can make the story, I think, better than it is, maybe. And I think that's one reason why you came to me. And so we're going to do that. And that's awesome that you're going to share it on here because it's a rough draft. You just came up with this. So being able to share it and develop it, I think that's huge. But I think it's cool just so people can see, like, okay, yeah, this is what we were going to do anyways. I was like, why not record it? Yeah,
no, it's funny that we became buddies because, like, I've always had a knack for, like, writing things out or just, like, little stories and stuff like that. So, I met you and you were a regular guy. I always thought authors were supposed to be these intellectual.
This guy's a dumb.
I was like, this guy is. So I felt comfortable. I was like, oh, he's just like me. And he's over there writing and he's, So like, oh, that's cool. So
you don't have to be a complete nerd, just kind of a nerd.
Yeah.
Well, and tell us about the award you won. I didn't win any awards when I was a kid for writing. Well, not at your school.
Yeah. When I was like in 3rd or 4th grade or something, you had like those like write a story competitions throughout the school, and I won my story for my grade. So they performed it at an assembly, and it was pretty cool. I was like, oh, like just to know what's coming up next. Yeah. I was like, oh.
That's awesome. Dude, that is really cool.
Yeah, so they had like, every grade had like a 15-minute little bit. Yeah. So they had the theater club play it out. So it was fun. And then actually it was funny, in junior college, I was taking a speech class, like public speaking, just to get the credits and just to, and I did well. The teacher recommended that if anyone went to the competition, the statewide competition, that they would get extra credit. And then she's like, if you don't go, I'm not gonna I'm gonna give you a C. And I was like, I'm cool with the C. Right. And she's like, no, fucking, let's go. So I went and I won. Wow. I won from all the junior colleges in the state.
Dude, that's awesome.
I know, dude, it's crazy. I just wrote a little thing about jiu-jitsu, like a 5-minute or 6-minute speech on jiu-jitsu, and hit like certain points. And I fucking won, dude, but I didn't even stick around to get the award. I like did all my 3 speeches, and then I just bounced because I was like, I got the B, like, I'm good. So I left, and my teacher gave it to me on Monday. So that was pretty cool. So I was like, well, maybe,
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah. I wish I had something like that. I'm jealous now. No, fuck you. Let's not work on your own story.
Like I said, definitely meeting you, dude. It's like I always see Mark with a notepad. You always got your notepad, and I noticed that it's you just scribbling things down like constantly, and just material. And we've had a couple conversations about Stephen King or your other favorite artist, author, or movies or whatever. And the common thing is just content, right? Just these guys blast out content, and I don't know how many notepads you filled up already. Dude, I've known you for a few years, and so that's what I started doing, dude. I just started like hitting on my phone. I just pull up the notes app and just start punching away when I waiting in line or something, or if I got mad at something that day or whatever. And then I have tons of them, and they just develop into little things. So I'll send one to Mark because he reads stuff all the time, and see what's up and have him critique it, because your word actually means something because you read tons of books. You're an author. So I was like, if he thinks it's a little bit okay, maybe I should just keep doing it.
No, I think there's tons of stuff here. I think there's lots of great stuff. I think there's a lot more that's underneath it, and so that's what we'll see. And one of my big things too, man, is like, we'll make a better story, but writing is, for me, it's getting lots of those demons out. It's getting those emotions. It's a catharsis. I'm realizing how important that is, because you're thinking about whatever's going on. You have to get into this character. You're accessing that part of your brain, which so many of us block with our fucking phones, where we just turn off our phones and just veg, or we turn on the fucking TV or whatever we do. But this is time where you're thinking, and you gotta think about, you gotta listen to your voice. So that's cool that you're doing it. So I want to break this down. We'll go into it. I'll have you read it, and then we'll talk a little bit about more. And because I think this is something bigger than it is, and we mentioned that a little bit earlier off air. So we'll talk about that too, and who this character is, and what's going on with him. But so let's just jump right into it. Let's have you read this. So this is dude. And okay, so also, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, I'm probably playing the yoga footage from our session today. It was just sad of me being an old man fucking struggling to get through a fucking easy yoga session. But I told Anthony that I was like, I'll show that. Like, I got my limitations. I'm a fucking beginner, or whatever at yoga. And Anthony's the expert. And then it's the reverse here. So it's just, and it's cool that we can do that. And it's, I don't know. But maybe I won't share that footage. Fuck him. We'll just show this.
I'll never know, because I only...
You're like, I don't watch your shit.
I don't watch this fucking... No,
fucking loser.
I feel like that since the beginning, because I can't hear myself. And then most of the times, our best conversations are candid. Like, we never...
Well, that's why I didn't want to talk about this too much off air. And like our last one, I was like, no, let's just smoke first and then put on the fucking cameras, or put on the recorder. And that way, otherwise, we'll catch up in like the first 10 minutes and have our good talks. But let's do this now. Let's, so... Very proud of Anthony for sharing this. This is something that he just worked on, sent to me, rough draft, and we're gonna dive into it and see what we. If nothing else, I'm like, okay, here's kind of what I would do. Here's what comes to me. Here's some ideas, and we'll just see if it goes anywhere.
Yeah,
let's do it. All right, get nice and close to that mic. Use your sexy voice.
Remember this. Remember this. I kept repeating it over and over. I couldn't let myself forget. I couldn't let myself forget this moment in my young life. I'm kneeling down in wet grass, a tiny rock under my right knee, something slimy crawling under my left. No big deal. A little extra pressure to the left knee took care of that. What I wanted to remember, though, was the way I felt. I felt tired, sad, angry, ambitious. My job that summer was picking up and delivering bounce houses for kids' parties, although half the time it was adults ordering them for themselves. The pay was decent, and it was only 2 days out of the week. I only had a few weeks left till I went back to school and pursued something that would actually give me a career. I had one more stop to make that day. It was at a nice house somewhere in Yorba Linda. The day was long and hot. The jumper was big and wet. It was a water slide unit with the works. So there I am, methodically trying to roll this huge thing up, stomping out 8 little air pockets that form every now and then. Every time I stop to stomp one out, water and grass and sweat, dirt spilled all over. I'm so fucking angry. This thing is heavy. It's hot out. I'm exhausted. I feel defeated. I thought at this point in my life I would have a career, a house, like the standard American life. Then I started to think, what's the standard American life? Most people work a job they don't want to do. They do it out of necessity. You hit 65 and then you hit retirement. You live on for a few more years and then you probably shit the bed. I kept thinking, I worked too fucking hard for that to be it. I've always wanted more out of my life. And at the moment, kneeling under that big ass bounce house, still trying to roll it up, it just hit me. This extreme ambitious yearning to create my own thing, to work for myself. I wasn't sure what yet or how, but I knew for sure I was done working this fucking hard for other people. This powerful feeling was like a second wind. It gave me the strength to get off my knees and hoist this big bitch into a tiny, neatly folded roll, 10 times smaller than when it was blown up. I feel good and powerful, staring at the work I've done. As inconsequential as it may be, to me, it represented a breakthrough, marking this moment I knew I was going to work for myself and create this empire. I used my dolly to drag the unit onto my trailer. I strapped everything down. I got back into my truck. I feel accomplished, I thought. I feel good. I feel good about the hard work I put in, man. I feel... Fuck, man. I feel... a giant fucking water roach, slightly crushed, still moving under my left knee. Remember this.
That part had me smiling. That was gross.
I kind of botched that last part.
Yeah.
But
no, that really works. And also, you're reading this off your phone, so it hits me on paper, because on the last one where it's like I feel, and then there's a space before, a giant fucking water roach, slightly crushed but still moving, attached to my left knee. So yeah, not expecting that. And then so that was awesome ending. A lot of good stuff. Thank you for reading that, dude.
So just really quick, man. That was just that's really how I felt that day, man. And I got home and I just wrote that down, and it's a true story. I mean, there was a roach like attached to my knee, but I just thought that was the universe's funny way of like slapping you in the face, like keeping you grounded, kind of like you're important, but you're not that important. And like I wrote Mark a little bit. I said every time you hear a famous person talking about how they hit it, it's always this moment, this momentous thing. And I don't know, I thought I felt it for a second, and then it totally got downplayed. So I don't know, I try to convey that in the story.
No, I think that definitely came across. I think it's a fucking awesome point. Something I think about all the time about, why are you gonna bust your ass all your life in for what? You're gonna be fucking sick, you're gonna be miserable if you're working all these hours, and then you're gonna die. That's just I don't know. I think about death way too much, and so that's one reason why when I read something like this, my mind. So let's discuss how do I want to go about this first? Okay, first off, this is just fucking terrible. Remember what you were saying about my half moon?
Yeah,
about that shit being awful. Well, this is even worse.
Okay, I can take that. No, your half moon wasn't that bad, so.
No, I'm sorry. I couldn't resist.
Oh, and by the way, I can't edit for shit. So my girlfriend edited all this, all the punctuation. That's all my girlfriend.
But so. and that's the thing, man. I go over. And how many times have you gone over this story since you wrote it down?
Just gone over it, like since I wrote it out.
How many times have you gone over it? How many times did you go back and look at it and then fix it up? Do you think?
Oh no, I haven't.
Okay.
I just wrote it.
See, so this is your first pass, and Janine looked it over. That sounds loud. So dude, I would probably go over something like when I have a chapter, I'm gonna go over like 5 or 6 times before I'm even like passing it on to my editor probably. And so like I will have a lot more passes on it. This one came to you, but that's usually when I'm working on it. I don't know. I would say generally, like, let's say 4 to 6 times. I'm going to go back through it and I'll mess with it, and then I'll give it to someone else and be like, hey. So you're super brave. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't do that.
See, I just didn't know. If I would have known I'm supposed to
I was like, yeah.
rewrite.
Oh, you fucked up. You should have rewrote this 3 times. No.
See, but that's what I wanted to hear. So okay, now I can go back.
But sometimes, but that's what I'm going to help. So it's like, okay, now here's the next pass. But what's good about this is, and why I'm glad you did this, and why I've told other authors I'm working with, just give me what you have, because we don't know where the starting point is. Like, why would you want to put in a lot of work trying to figure out this first paragraph if that first paragraph isn't going to go in your final draft anyhow? Mm-hmm. So I think the first step is just figuring out, okay, what is the story? What is the story really about? Maybe you thought you were writing it for that reason, but maybe there's another reason. So one of the things I think is we show as much of this as possible. So one of our goals is we want to show it. We don't want to tell them that you're feeling tired and you're frustrated and everything else. Like, we want to show it. So we want them to become it's written first person, which is awesome. You just want to show. I think it's when you show up at the house, that's when it starts. So it's already been a long day or whatever. I don't know if you're pulling down the street. I don't know if you're just parking. I don't know if you're walking up and you see all these fucking adults, and maybe you didn't realize it was these adults. Like, that's what struck me too when you said about adults running it for themselves.
Partying.
So that's what you do. Like, so you show that they fucking spilled alcohol in it or whatever else. You see them. Maybe there's something going on with the owner. Maybe he's this asshole fucking. And so we have this interaction. So there's dialogue with you and the owner. Maybe he's wondering what how long is this going to take you, and we get to, okay, it's a job, but we kind of skipped over, what does the money mean to you? Is it important? Does that make a difference in what you're eating or what you're able to do? Like, what does it allow you to do? I think it kind of got overlooked, and maybe it's not important, but as a reader, we want to know, and we're going to want to see, we want to see where you're at. Like, we're going to want to be you at that moment. So yeah, I think it's going to be, you'll just walk us through that scene. So we're not going to worry about anything else. It's just, you're going to start right there, picking that thing up, probably from the adult party. You're going to show the interactions. We'll be able to, and I don't know if when you put the pressure on the thing. Like, I was thinking war. I was thinking that's what it made me think of, especially when you're putting the pressure. Like, I've been here before. I don't know if any of that was ever there. I don't know but if nothing else, it would let the reader know who this guy is, that he's been in battle or whatever. And I think that will be important. I think if this guy, depending on who the character is, we want. I mean, I think it's an important thing. Yeah. It's kind of who he is and why he's. I don't know. It may not be. Maybe he's not. Is this character a vet?
Yeah, let's call
okay.
it. Yeah, because it adds a little more oomph to it.
Okay, so is he? Does he have any? Does he struggle with emotions? Is he tired? Has he not been sleeping? Is he like? So is he like? So we need to. So because you said that in one line, but about being fucking tired and everything else, but. Is that a chronic state? Like, or is this just like, you could just say, man, you could say, oh, I'm fucking tired, man. It's like, maybe I stayed up late last night, I partied, or maybe I'm just fucking whining. Maybe I don't like manual labor. Maybe I don't, so, we'll show how difficult it is. And like, man, you're used to doing, you grapple with this stud fucking author and Whittier fucking all the time, and like, it's not even that hard, or no, it's way harder than that, or whatever. So, but we just build you. So your next pass is going to be, if you want to, and you don't even fucking have to. But we were talking about, this could be the guy from the Try Not to Die. Because so it's like, why not start building this guy, figuring out exactly who he is. You already know who he is, but if this wasn't the Try Not to Die story even, it could be this dude having this interaction with this asshole fucking after a long day, and him not losing his shit. So it's you taking this character to, he's getting to that point where, fuck man, he's about to snap. He hasn't slept fucking days or whatever, or he's just so aggravated, or I don't know, who knows. And then if they make the right decision, he overcomes it, he gets through that point, and then we still see the brooch or whatever it is. So that's one idea, but maybe, and who knows, but it could just be developed into that. But I think you just want to show, I would start it just right where you pulling up to that house, and maybe you already had some bad vibes from when you dropped it off earlier that morning or whatever else.
Nice.
So and maybe you're thinking about that, or maybe you see, and plain enough, the shit that you do see that you want, and that you like, or that you, and admitting like that kind of stuff. And so it's just being it's just being super honest. It's getting into just actually put yourself right there, write a little movie of what does it look like, what are you seeing, what are all your senses doing as you're walking in here, and are you always in full alert? Maybe when you're going that party, you see a dude that you don't really know or trust that much, and you're already sizing them up and like who you could take out. Maybe you're already thinking about, like, if I had to, I could kill every motherfucker here, and you're gonna talk to me like this. So if we're it depends on how you spin it, if you want to put that shit in at all. But like, that's what I would like. For me, that would make I would like writing that story. I would like writing
it's a lot that's there that I haven't even looked into. Yeah, you're right. Like, it's a lot. It's
so
good.
I think a lot of it is just going deeper, and even if it doesn't even go into, let's say it doesn't become a story, or it doesn't go into the try not to die or whatever, dude, it's working about those fucking emotions that you were experiencing in that moment. Like, that's the point of the exercise. With Spanbauer, his dangerous writing is talking about, you just go to the wound and open that shit up and look at it like this, and just examine it and scrub it clean. So just something that you didn't really, and maybe if this moment in your life wasn't that, maybe wasn't that traumatic or whatever, and the way I'm trying to spin it, maybe it's all wrong. But if we did want to go that traumatic, then you just go to another moment in your life that was kind of like that, and you kind of you turn that moment into it.
I see piggybacking. I see a lot from here now. Yeah.
So now, does that kind of story? So does that feel right, or does that feel wrong? Because I think, dude, I'm just one person with fucking one opinion, and I'm fucking got twisted thoughts, and I already know about you, and this and that, and blah, 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 and it's wherever I end with my try not to die. So there's all kinds of different things. And I was telling everyone, like, man, take what you like and throw away the rest, and whatever.
It's good to go there. It's good. I mean, because it's relevant. It's something that a lot of people struggle with, and I mean, shit, you see all kinds of movies coming out.
Dude, it's real life, man. That's
people.
fucking.
I know, it's crazy. I know.
It's fucking. Weird. Yeah, man. I don't think it gets realer than that. That makes it way more real and way more important, and it's what you're going through. And not to say you're gonna fucking kill dudes at a party. Or not saying that about Anthony. Now we're fictionalized and shit. But that kind of, you could understand that. You could understand how. And dude, me not ever seen war or being in the military or whatever, I can kind of get it. Like, I get why fucking no one could come back, the same, or without some, just I don't know. I don't know how anyone could experience even like boot camp and not have a heightened sense of awareness or whatever else that's going to impact their sleep and everything else, and then if they're in battle and seeing shit. I have another one of my friends that I'm running with who he's on full disability, and dude, he the same thing. He can't sleep. He just like I think I don't know if he was in the explosion or not, or it hit right by him, but yeah, I was like, how are you gonna get over that? So but that's a whole nother thing. But I think that's legitimate. I think that's where I felt like the real story, like that's what I would want to know, and that's what I would encourage you to write if you wanted to.
Yeah, I think that's a place where I could get to and be creative, and and you could run through some crazy stories, and it sounds fun. I mean, it just sounds fun. It's just, I mean, everybody wants to like punch somebody every now and then.
Oh yeah.
And everybody, road rage or whatever. So I mean, that felt good at the time. At the time, it was just like, felt defeated. A young guy went from being a prestigious Marine. Well, see, I even struggle with that because honestly, I don't think it was that prestigious in my opinion. For me.
Well,
so
what about how about other Marines?
Oh yeah, sure.
So why do you hold other Marines at that level and not yourself?
Because I'm just being honest with myself, and I had a lot of run-ins in the service too.
Oh, okay.
Saying that, dude, I'm here because I need to be, because I have no other choice. I'm not here because fucking, and it was Obama at that time.
But did you do your job though?
I did every day.
So why not hold yourself to the same level as the other guys? And maybe lots of them knew what they were getting into. I just feel like
a lot of Marines know, like those moto fucking Marines, those moto guys for life who, you know, fucking president is the shit. It's just like, I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's a part of me, my childhood and being raised and just not really trusting the government's policies on going out and doing crazy shit. And now, not to say that I'm a poli-sci major or anything like that, but it was never a prestigious thing. I mean, like I said, I admit it. I tried to get into the Air Force first. I went through every branch first before I chose the Marine Corps. Because if you want to, and I don't mind saying it, any Marine, any real Marine, any real Army guy will tell you that they aren't the easy branches.
Right.
And that they're the most combat-centered branches. And if that's not your intention, it's just not your intention.
Right.
I had to. I literally had tattoos that the Air Force did not allow me to, because it was during the time where all these military dudes were like, all these ex-gang members were shooting up cops and stuff. So, I mean, I literally had no choice. The Marine Corps was like, hell yeah, we'll take you. So,
but whatever your reasons for joining, I do think that, and however you feel about war and everything else, I still think you should hold yourself to the same level that you look at your fellow Marines. Like if you do, I mean, I don't know how you honestly look at them.
My fellow Marines, see, there's a difference. Like if you're gonna put me in a Marine Corps bubble and say the Marine Corps, I fucking love the Marine Corps.
Right.
Like I obviously I have my unit on my arm. I'll never have a better job in the Marine Corps, if that makes sense. I'll never have a worse job. The worst job part was just due to politics and bureaucrats and chicken hawks in fucking suits deciding where little teenagers go to fight.
Right.
But the Marine Corps in itself, dude, I mean, come on.
So, I don't know. I think it would be good to, and that's one of the things that you will figure out. I think you're very conflicted in how you feel about being a Marine, and not even being a Marine, but I don't know, your experience. I think you feel very conflicted. I think it's right. I mean,
no, that's for sure.
Yeah. So I think that's one of the things you got to work out. I think this character has to work that out, and I think by writing about him, that's where you kind of figure things out, man. And I don't know. I think it's cool. I think you go back and you put this character in all these different situations. You're like, okay, it's like I could have done this or this. I was thinking, and not necessarily, you were even thinking about that, but you could imagine someone doing this, or you could imagine someone doing that. But you know what? He did this, and this is how he feels about it now. He's like, okay, I made the right call. It wasn't easy, but and if it's this guy that's making the right calls every time, and you're showing that you can do it, and not this dude. I mean, that makes. I'm exaggerating this character. Like I'm not talking about Anthony when I'm saying you. I do that all the time with whoever I'm writing with. Because we try to become the character.
No, that's what I came to you for.
Yeah.
I have these thoughts, so where do I put them? And, and this helps. And it's like, to be honest, I'm not a big play on your phone guy. I don't have any apps. The few apps I have is for my nieces to play on. So I'd much rather get on my phone in 10, 15 minutes and just jot out these quick ideas, and then now that I have a better thought process on where to go with it, instead of just writing out, like you said, how I feel, I have more avenues of approach. That's cool. I could just sit there forever now, just kind of just going through things.
Dude, I think unless something else comes to you, develop this scene. So you're just going to start it from when they're pulling up to the house, and then you're just going to really fall into the character, take it all the way to the end when he makes this right decision not to do whatever to this guy or quit his, maybe it's even just quitting his job, who knows what it is, but take us to that point. So, but it's going to be, this one page is going to be now, these 3 paragraphs is going to be probably like, let's try to, 3 or 4 pages. So you're just going to expand it. You're going to slow everything down, especially interaction. You're going to tell me what this dude looks like. You're going to say what kind of car you see. You're going to see something that you wish you had as a kid, or so those are the things that are coming into this when you're just maneuvering through this house and delivering this thing.
See, and it's fun because a lot of it's easy, and then just that extra, I guess, like the pop at the end, the theatrical part is that's just extra fun.
Oh yeah. And that's so we just write the main story. It's like, okay, he does the right thing, and then later after we figure it all out, it's like, oh, but he could have gone and done this. you know. And so then you have fun with it, like, it's like, oh shit, this Marine just got let loose, and fucking,
it's fucking good.
Who doesn't want to watch that?
Yeah,
this dude had it coming anyhow, so fuck him and his not his family, maybe his wife. No, only she had it coming too. We can't be too brutal, or can we? Right. Maybe she picked up a weapon.
Maybe we should let you do with it. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So
no, dude, that's good advice. Super fun. Like, yeah. Like I said, I walked in here. I just I spit it out one day. Like you told me before, I didn't really bother with periods and any of that. Just spit it out, and then I said, Janine, this is what I thought that day. Try to make the punctuation. What are the pauses? You know. So she helped me out with that. So it was pretty raw, I guess.
Yeah. So and that's the thing. Like that would have been on this. It was totally fine the way it was. I read it. It was good. It didn't need any more because it gave us to the next step. Like, okay, that's the story. Now we go deeper. Now we started here. Now we showed this, and this. And then again, once you have that rough, then you come back here and be like, okay, yeah, let's expand this. Let's slow this down. Let's look here deeper here. It's like, oh, dude, why aren't you bringing this up? You know, or how about this? Maybe this is something I would feel here, or you know. So it's being.
Now I'm thinking of the roach as like more of a metaphor for like, I could have killed you. No, I'll go back and kill you.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, so there's all kinds of stuff there. So see, that's one page, but that's you having putting it on paper, getting it into this kind of shape, and then letting someone else read it. So and being open. So that's awesome.
Sweet, brother. Sweet. Good. I appreciate it, man.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the awesome yoga today. We'll do this next week. We'll see how far you've developed. I'd say, dude, if we do this shit on a weekly basis, you'll have the book done.
Sorry.
It wouldn't take you that long to have a book. So we do that, but that's what I'm telling everyone. It's not hard for me to come in here. I spent, maybe an hour? Hour to 2 hours max on this. And now you go play with it for a week. You come back, I spend an hour or two on it. I can do that with several books, plus, meanwhile, I'm doing my other thing. So, that's why I'm pumped about the series, dude. So,
sweet, brother. This is not the part where I pull out 10% because I owe you 10% out of your.
Oh yeah. No, you got to pay me a lot.
Oh, fuck.
No, actually, you're not.
I didn't sign anything yet.
You know what? You're not even getting paid for this. I forgot to tell you. This is just for exposure. That's what a lot of early writers. That's what a lot of early writers do. That's what I wanted to do, man. Like if someone would even just take my stuff, I'm like, oh, I just got accepted. I was like,
I see that.
Or they're paying me $5 to be in this magazine or whatever. So that's what I was saying. Those awards you had earlier, like that's cool, man. You were competitive in your writing, and now it's just going back into something you love, another passion that's also therapy. Like, dude, that's how I think of yoga. It's a passion, it's therapy. Jiu-jitsu is a passion, it's therapy. Guitar, passion, therapy. Writing, passion, therapy. So,
dude, you're right. And it feels good, and I never thought it would go anywhere. Like, even those speech classes and in school, I was always surprised. I was like, oh shit, really?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Dude, and you could just have fun killing motherfuckers. Like, that's what I like to do. Last night I was telling Livy, I let Livy read the first chapter of Brightside, well, the first page of the new Brightside, the Try Not to Die on Brightside, and she read the little part about the cat. I was like, I was like, let me read you this line. It's about how many pieces he could cut the cat into while it was still alive. And her face is like,
tail,
daddy.
Couple legs,
but
paws.
All right, man, let's get you home. You got a story to fucking write. I have, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go play with the kids. So, and go watch my nephew wrestle at Wilson High School, which I used to coach at. Yeah, so let's go check that shit out. All right, man, thank you so much for this. Thank you guys for listening. Not sure what the story is, but I'll tell you guys that shit in just 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, guys, Anthony is gone. It is just you and me, and we are about to try not to die, because that is what I'm doing this year. Well, especially writing-wise. So let's talk about writing. I am working on my Try Not to Die series. The only book that is out now in the series is number 1, which is the one I co-authored with Anthony Spock. He was my editor for Brightside, brilliant writer. Very lucky to have him. And he was excited about it. He was also a fan of the Choose Your Own Adventures, the series of books I read as a kid, where every couple pages you had to choose which way you wanted to go with the story. And so, he really dug the idea. And we came out with Try Not to Die at Grandma's House. And that is what I will be reading today. Every week I will read one of the scenes, and then the following week I'll read maybe the death scene. I'm not sure what I'm going to give you guys. We'll figure it out as we go. But that is what I'm working on with several of my friends. Instead of just trying to figure this out on my own, I thought it'd be fun to work with friends and help them, have their own book and maybe learn a little bit about writing. Just, flexing that muscle, seeing how they like it, what it does for them. And so far it's been pretty cool. Definitely spending a lot of time on that. That's the focus of this year. Also hoping to make these, we're going to be pitching it as games, as apps, as TV series. Who knows what will happen, but I definitely have, I think they're going to be high quality stories that can easily be any of those things. So we shall see, and I'll let you judge for yourself. Maybe you think this sucks. This book is young adult, although adults dig it too. Just the character, I think, is, I forget, we'll find out. I think he's like 15 or, no, he's probably like 16 or 17. I decided I don't want to do that with all of the books in the series, but right now, out of the 10 that we have scheduled for the next couple of years, 5 of them are young adult and 5 are adult. And so what I'm hoping is to get all these young kids and just twist them, like, here, kids, you like that? Now read this shit. It won't be like that. It'll definitely be, we'll let people know which ones are meant for adults and which ones are meant for the children. Alright guys, so here it is. Try Not to Die at Grandma's House. Written by Mark Tullius and Anthony Spock. I think this shit was like 2013 or 14. Alright, here we go. Let's do it. Try not to die at Grandma's house. I'm not a coward. I'm just really indecisive. I see every possible outcome, and it's paralyzing. Like right now. Mom just wants me to take the keys and drive us home. Everyone's shivering outside the diner. It's starting to drizzle, and my little sister throws back her head like a Pez dispenser and groans. Mom says, "Come on, David. It'll be good to practice." I suck at driving in the rain and really need to work on it, but I can't take the keys. I've only had my license for a month, and while I like being behind the wheel, I try to avoid it when I'm with Dad. He makes me too nervous, and I always screw up, like missing our exit or cutting someone off. Even Mom says the minivan has terrible blind spots, but Dad says we're just not using the mirrors correctly. "Why don't I drive?" my sister says, and Mom shoots her a look. My sister's name is Samantha, but she insists we call her Sam. She's tougher than any of the jocks at my high school, and she's only in 7th grade. I've seen her choke out boys twice her size. "Come on, Deb," Dad says. "We're gonna be here all night." Mom doesn't look at him, just jingles the keys at me like I'm some unmotivated dog. "What do you say, David? Do you want to drive now or once we get off the freeway?" Don't give him options. If there was a flood, the boy'd drown picking out sneakers. He would not. But the truth is, I probably would drown. I only have 2 pairs of sneakers, but I spend an exhausting amount of time choosing which ones to wear. The inside backs of my blue high tops are so worn the plastic cuts into my heels. When I peel off my socks, I just reopen the scabs. My green runners are comfy and light, but they make me think too much about my brother Tim. He gave them to me when I was thinking about joining the track team. He'd broken every record at our high school as a freshman. College recruiters came to every meet. One told Mom that Tim would end up on a box of cereal. But that was before he started hanging out with Bill Parker. Tim got arrested for stealing a car with Bill. Then he got expelled after breaking a teacher's nose. My parents took him to a psychologist, and even our priest, but Tim couldn't stay out of trouble. It got so bad, Mom sent him to live with my grandparents for the summer. That was 2 years ago, the last time any of us saw him alive. He doesn't want to drive. Just give me the keys. Mom sighs and hands them over. We all climb in. I keep thinking about Tim, Yesterday was the anniversary of his death. There were search and rescue teams and blood-sniffing dogs. The body they found didn't have a face, like it'd been clawed off. The cops said it was probably a coyote or bear. Sam said it must have taken a whole pack of bears to bring down Tim. She wanted to go looking for the one Tim must have killed. She said we could mount it in our basement. "Everyone buckled up?" Mom asks. She tries to fasten hers, but it won't click. She jams it down a few times to finally lock it in. My father pulls out of the lot and onto the road. I put my cheek against the freezing window and stare at the city lights. When we moved to Florida, I expected it to be hot and sticky all the time, but nights by the water, even during the summer, are some of the coldest I've felt. It's like someone sliding icicles right into your bones. Mom turns the heat all the way up. Within minutes, the minivan is a sauna. Sam's letting a couple of pet ants crawl around her hand. She collected a bunch yesterday at the cemetery. Sam and I went alone because Mom and Dad never want to go. Sam stole some flowers from another grave and put them on Tim's headstone. We stood there and I kept trying to picture Tim's face, the one he had before whatever it was tore it off, but I couldn't. I only saw this fuzzy, tan blob on his shoulders. I wonder how long it's going to take me to forget his voice, or the time he let me play hooky and snuck me into an R-rated movie. Sam opens the sugar packets she stole from the diner and feeds it to the ants in her palm. She whispers something about how the sacrifice will bring in a good harvest. Tim taught her how to use the magnifying glass to send the little creatures to their flaming death. I just hope Sam doesn't set the yard on fire like last summer. Sometimes I feel Tim never really left, just entered Sam's body. Thinking about it makes me jealous. They're just so much alike. Tim never had a problem making decisions. A lot of them were wrong, at least according to my parents and the cops, but he never panicked. When he saw something he wanted to do, he did it. Grandpa Joe was supposed to break him of that. That was the plan. But I knew Tim would never let that happen. When he stole the car, the cops chased him for almost an hour. The only reason they caught him was he ran out of gas. "I'm hot," Sam says. "Well, take off your jacket, honey." Sam is yanking off her puffy black coat when she suddenly starts looking down at the floor. She's clearly lost an ant, and I know I'm going to wake up tonight with it crawling around my bed. I can already feel it jittering into my ear and giving birth in my brain. Dad takes the turnpike to the Sunshine Skyway Bridge. It's all lit up. 100 cables bathed in yellow-green light. Each one stretches to the top of the two towering pillars, creating alien-looking sails rising above the water. In the rearview mirror, I see sweat beads rolling around my father's forehead. "Take the wheel," he tells Mom. "What?" "I need to take my jacket off." "I'll just turn down the heat." "No, I'm hot now." "Let's at least get across the bridge." Dad forces her hand to the wheel and starts jerking back and forth to get his arm out of the sleeve. Mom's hand is gripping the wheel so hard, it's like she's trying to squeeze juice out of the thing. Her arm's shaking, and it's causing the minivan to wobble. "Tom, please, you know I hate this." Dad keeps grunting and shuffling. His whole body turns to the left and the engine revs. The cables of the bridge start passing by so fast, I can't even see the spaces between them. "Tom!" My foot's stuck. And so are his arms, both trapped in his jacket. Mom tries to gain control, but we end up swerving. The car honks. Dad's foot must be pressed to the floor because we're going faster and faster. I look over at Sam, who's grinning like a devil. "The brakes! Brakes!" Mom screams. "What do you think I'm—" Dad trails off and the tires skid. We're thrown forward, but we're not stopping. The bridge must be too wet. The sound of rubber scraping against pavement is almost as loud as Mom shrieking. The blast of horns follows. More screeching. Headlights shine through the windshield, then sweep out as cars swerve to avoid us. I see the railing of the bridge. It's getting close. Maybe 10 feet. 5. Nothing but dark sky beyond the metal bars. The van pops up on the curb. We slam into the railing. It's creaking and I can't open my eyes. I know we're heading over. Mom just keeps repeating, "Oh my God, oh my God." I clench my fist so tight it feels like I'm going to snap my wrists. But the creaking starts to fade. I hear my parents breathing. Sam starts laughing. "Way to go, Dad." Soon everyone's laughing. We're not dead. It was just a wreck. The minivan's totaled, but it needed to go anyway. Mom's been saying that for months. The airbags didn't even pop out. Dad unbuckles himself and turns towards us in the back seat. "Everyone all right?" "Yeah, but I think my aunt spilled." Any other time, Mom would be freaking out, saying something about Sam knowing better than to take them out of their tank. But all Mom's doing is looking at me in the rear view, her voice even more delicate than usual when she asks, "How about you? You okay?" Dad's laugh is a little shaky. "They're fine. No blood, no foul." Suddenly the van's filled with light. It's so bright I can't even turn to see where it's coming from. Dad's eyes double in size. The blaring horn says it's a semi. 18 wheels sliding, skidding right into our back bumper. The railing cracks and everything sounds muffled. The screams, the metal bars clanging off the sides of the van as we plummet down. Down. Dad's arms are locked against the wheel as if he could actually stop this. We're falling for so long I start to think we'll never land, that we'll just fall right through the planet and float out into space. But we hit the water, and my hands fly up to the roof. Sam's hair is sticking straight up. We must be upside down. Dad's body crashes up on the dash, and his head bangs the windshield. Blood seeps into the cracks, spidering out through the glass. It's spreading fast. Everything gets dark and cold, and I know we're completely underwater. The water is leaking around the doors. Sam must have unbuckled herself because she's suddenly on the ceiling crawling towards Mom. We're still upside down. Mom is trying to free herself, but her seatbelt won't unlock. Sam tries to help her. Their hands keep slapping and pressing, but it won't unbuckle. Water sprays in through the windshield. It's going to burst any second. Mom sees it and frantically jerks at the buckle, but it won't budge. Finally, she gives up, grabs Sam's face. "You two have to go, honey." Sam's little fingers keep pressing the button. "No, I can get it." "Samantha, stop. Look at me." I have never heard Sam cry like this before, and I realize I'm crying too. "I'm not leaving," Sam says. "It's gonna be okay. I'll get your father, but you both have to swim." "David, help!" I push my button, and for a second I think I'm trapped just like Mom, but then I hear the click and my whole body flaps against the ceiling. I crawl over to help, but it's really stuck. "David, stop." I don't want to look at her. "You need to take care of your sister. You swim out after the glass breaks." My fingers are still pressing the button. Mom takes my face in her hands. "Promise me you'll always protect her." I want to tell her to be quiet, that we have to keep trying, but the sound of splintering glass fills the van. Water is going to come like an avalanche. Mom yells at us to get behind the seats, but I don't want to move. I don't want any of this. Alright guys, decision time. Do you continue to try and free Mom? You turn to page 43. Pull Sam behind the seats. Turn to page 90. So what is it? Do you pull your sister behind the seats? Or do you free your mom? Tough call. Alright, you think about it. We will find out next week what it is. Anyhow, if you're following me on social media, let me know which one you would do. Would you try and free your mom, or would you pull Sam behind the seats? Whichever one I get more of, I will read. Maybe I'll read both anyhow, but who knows? Just tell me what you want. What would you do? Who are you going to abandon? Tough call. All right, guys. Thanks so much for listening. I will talk to you later.
Thanks for listening to Unlocking with Mark Tullius. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe and tune in next week. If you dare.